In the last 4 years, we've seen a lot of new AI startups pop up, companies like Cursor and Perplexity, and even a shoe company that rebranded to an AI startup.
So a once popular shoe company founded in San Francisco has announced it's ditching the apparel business and making a pivot to AI.
Everybody still thinks this is probably an Onion headline. It's silly.
And big tech is followed by integrating AI into many of their products as well. Tools like Copilot, Gemini, and Meta AI. But here's the thing, just because companies are using AI everywhere, it doesn't actually mean that they're making a profit. In fact, we're seeing the opposite.
In September and October, debt issuance from just 3 companies was larger than all of tech debt issuance in the preceding 3 years.
I talked about how tech companies regret firing their employees because it didn't actually save them time and money. And a lot of people feel the same way. Now, however, we're talking about higher stakes because these tech companies are investing over $400 billion in AI infrastructure, compute, tokens, etc. But they're not really seeing a return on their investment. And it's not like they can hide all of this because it's all publicly available. So I dug into quarterly earnings, industry research, and financial filings. And what I found is a story that no company wants you to see. So let's get into it. Back in 2023, there was a huge influx of spending on things like LLMs and AI subscriptions, engineers integrating AI into their products, and the infrastructure to run everything. The average enterprise spent $7 million on LLMs, APIs, hosting, and fine-tuning in 2023 alone. By 2024, that number had jumped 2.5 times to $18 million per company.
Big tech companies are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on the AI build-out, and the bill for all of that is finally getting handed to their shareholders. If you go back a year or two, companies like Google and Meta and Microsoft were mostly able to pay for these big data centers out of the money that they made from their core businesses in advertising and cloud computing and software. That started to run out sometime last year, and they started borrowing in the debt markets. And very quickly now, they are starting to have to sell new shares of stock.
So the spend shifted from one-off innovation budgets to actually buying generative AI software at scale. So now if we look at the entire market, companies spent $11.5 billion on generative AI in 2024. And by 2025, that number had tripled to $37 billion. So let me give you an example of the AI hype that we're seeing today. In April 2026, Allbirds, a struggling sustainable shoe company that had never really turned a profit in its existence, with revenue falling every single year since 2022, they actually announced that they were pivoting to AI compute infrastructure, and they rebranded to Newbird AI. And the stock jumped 582% in a single day. That valuation is crazy. And at one point intraday, it was up 876% just because they used the word artificial intelligence in their rebranding. Nothing actually changed about the product or the shoes. It's just the way that they marketed their product. So this is what AI hype looks at its most extreme. It looks like it's creating some sort of bubble. Shoe company with 4 consecutive years of losses, and then they add the word AI, and then the market rewards them with 582% surge. But here's the thing, is that value sustainable? Let's look at the numbers of what companies are actually making and losing on AI. Companies like Microsoft, for example. So how much money did they spend and what are they making back? Well, I actually looked at the SEC filings to look at the exact numbers, and I'm going to show you guys that now. So you can see that here the gross margin percentage decreased slightly, driven by intelligent cloud, offset in part more by personal computing. Their operating expenses also increased $3.8 billion or 6% by investments in cloud and AI engineering and gaming. And then the operating income actually increased by $19.1 billion. Okay, now if we break down revenue, cost of expenses, and operating expenses, and this is in the millions, by the way, if we look at intelligent cloud, the revenue increased, but the cost of the revenue also increased by a lot. So we went from this in millions in 2024 to this number in millions in 2025. So it actually increased a lot. The percentage change was 36% more spend. So at the end of the day, they are making a profit, but they're spending 3 times as more as they were. So their operating costs are through the roof. And especially after signing for AI infrastructure on 3 Mile Island so that they could start reopening nuclear plants, that number is just going to keep going up. Now, if we look at OpenAI, they obviously don't have SEC filings because they're not public, but their cost and revenue was leaked on the Wall Street Journal. They earned $3.7 billion, but their operating costs and losses were over $5 billion. So they didn't make anything. They lost money, even though they're one of the most famous companies in the world right now. So there's a lot of hype behind them, but there's no money to actually back up the hype. So why is all of this happening? Isn't AI supposed to increase revenue? Well, the answer shows up in 2 places, and it's not exactly in the press releases. So let's talk about AI slop. What are companies actually getting for all of this spending? In a lot of cases, it's content that nobody actually wants. Basically low effort, mass-produced content generated at scale. Pinterest has been overrun by AI-generated images. There's fake recipes and AI blog posts. It's so bad that users actually revolted, and the platform had to introduce labels for AI-generated content. Imagine seeing a recipe with a picture like this and assuming that that's actually what the food will look like. Spotify also removed millions of bot-generated tracks using these spam detection systems after AI music flooded the platform. And there were even AI-generated books on Kindle. At one point, it was dominant in the ebook market share with 83%, but then it dropped to 67% in 2025 when readers left to go to more curated platforms because they couldn't really find any real content on Kindle. And so here's the business problem with all of this. Companies assumed that racing to use AI would cut content costs, so they flooded their platforms with AI-generated material. But then they watched their engagement drop, and their trust also dropped as well. And now the audience have left to go to platforms that feel more human and not really AI focused. Even the Starbucks CEO Chris Best warned of a future of AI slop. It's a version of the internet that's so flooded with AI-generated content that the authentic human work actually becomes impossible to find. So they ended up saving money on content creation, but they lost something much more valuable, which was the trust of their customers. All right, before we continue, I have to show you something really cool that I discovered on Higgsfield. And stick around, because if you need to automate any part of your workflow, then you definitely want to hear what I have to say. So if you're already working with Claude, you can easily generate, edit, and ship creatives directly inside Claude Cowork or Claude Code via the official MCP connector. And you can easily remove manual steps in your workflow. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so the first prompt I'm giving it is to analyze a bunch of Notion reviews, and specifically the worst complaints about Notion on Reddit. So it's going to look at things like why there's no offline mode or slow performance on mobile. And then eventually I'm going to have the Higgsfield connector actually create UCG content, not just a website. So we're going to take a look at that. So here's what the website could look like. We read every bad thing Reddit says about us. Here's what's true. And then it lists all the different problems that it's found on Reddit. And then it also gives tips on how to make it faster, as well as the honest answer. So we can go through all of these. And then I asked it to make some UGC content. So basically showing real professionals like a startup founder or student or remote team lead, showing how Notion transformed their workflow. So it gives me a bunch of different options here, and I can actually choose which influencer I want to use for the UCG content. So let's go ahead and look at that.
I used to run our entire company out of Slack threads and random Google Docs. It was chaos. Then I moved everything into Notion, fundraising pipeline, product roadmap, team wiki, all in one place. Investor updates that used to take me 3 hours now take 20 minutes. If you're building a startup, this is the one tool I'd keep if everything else disappeared.
Okay, now let's look at another demo. Okay, so the next one is we're going to create a restaurant ad machine. We're going to grab 4 to 5 highly rated but under-marketed restaurants in the area, and then try to find some reviews about complaints, and then also create some UGC content that promotes these restaurants. So let's take a look at the UGC content.
Athens secret, di Porto. There is no menu, no sign, no Instagram, just food cooked the same way since 1887. Follow the stairs down. That's all. I walked in once, and now I bring everyone.
And then here's the site where it shows 4 under-marketed gems and 4 cinematic promos. So it talks about the Google reviews, the price per person, the review intelligence, as well as the promo video brief. You can also have outreach messages. But yeah, it actually generated all of this from scratch and pretty quickly. Yeah, all of that is really easy to integrate with Claude. I've added a link in the description below. So what are you waiting for? Go check it out. And now back to the video. So AI slop is just the visible problem. There's actually an invisible problem happening behind the scenes as well, and that is the finances. Now, here's something about AI that people don't really understand about how it gets billed. When you use an AI tool, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or Cursor, every word in and every word out costs money. These are called tokens. And unlike software where you pay a flat subscription, AI pricing is consumption-based. So it's not infinite. The more you use it, the more you pay. Even though right now we have subscription models like OpenAI's subscription model, Claude, at like $20 a month for just the basic version, but that's not actually sustainable in the long run. So now enterprise AI token consumption has increased 13 times since January of 2025. Not 13%, but 13 times. One healthcare enterprise consumed 1 trillion tokens over only 6 months. That's more than $6 million in unplanned costs before the finance team even understood what what was happening. And it gets weirder than that. Token prices have actually fallen dramatically. They're actually down nearly 80% between 2025 and 2026. And yet the total AI bill across enterprises exploded anyways. It's because the cheaper tokens just encouraged more usage. So people weren't really able to cap their usage. And it's not just because of the LLMs, it's because people are creating these agentic workflows which take a lot more tokens than just generating text through prompts. So what's the most concrete example of this happening in the real world? So Uber actually burnt through its entire AI planned budget for 2026 within the first few months of the year, after encouraging engineers to use AI aggressively and even tracking internal usage on leaderboards. So they were encouraging people to use it more and more despite that crazy cost that came with the tokens. So the whole year's budget was gone before summer. So venture capitalist Chamat Palapitya reported that a software startup's AI spending nearly tripled since late 2025. So that was heading towards $10 million usage annually. So he said the problem wasn't the spending itself. It was that the costs were growing 3 times every 3 months without revenue actually increasing. And that's the big ticker. The more you use AI doesn't necessarily translate to revenue coming in even more. You have to be very purposeful with where you use AI and what it's used for. And not everyone knows how to do that. The hyperscalers are the big hitters: Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle. They all are collectively expected to exceed $600 billion in capital expenditure in 2026, with roughly $450 billion tied to just AI infrastructure. So the bill that surprises most people isn't from launching AI, but it's from actually running AI. And nobody really budgeted for running it because nobody told them what running it actually costs. And that's the big problem. But there's another cost that we're not talking about, and that's the human cost. Okay, so what is the human cost? Companies didn't just spend billions on AI. They actually made a trade. They looked at their workforce and decided that AI was a cheaper replacement, and then they acted on it. So between January and June 2025, companies reported 77,999 tech jobs that were cut directly because of AI adoption. So hundreds of people were losing their jobs every single day. Nearly 80,000 tech job workers actually lost their jobs in the beginning of 2026. That's nearly double the same period of last year, 2025. And almost half of those cuts were attributed to AI or automation. And the companies that are doing this aren't actually hiding why. So Klarna went from 7,000 employees in 2022 to roughly 3,000 today. Their CEO has publicly said that he expects that number to fall to 2,000 by 2030. And they even went on CNBC to brag about it. And then 14 months later, they were quietly rehiring people. I actually have a video about that as well. Then UPS cut 20,000 jobs in 2025. It was one of the largest workforce reductions in the company's history. And the CEO pointed to machine learning directly as the cause of these cuts. Duolingo also declared itself AI first in 2025, and they actually terminated 10% of their contract workforce shortly after. They acknowledged that AI can actually handle a lot of their tasks across its 100+ language offerings. Intuit also cut 17% of its global workforce, which was about 3,000 roles. It used AI-driven efficiency as its excuse, of course. And the people that are building these AI systems aren't sugarcoating what's coming next. Here are some more examples with Anthropic's CEO or Wall Street banks. I mean, this is happening across the board, everywhere. But here's what makes this interesting and kind of uncomfortable. We've just shown you that 73% of AI investments aren't actually giving a return on investment. These companies are spending 3 times what they're actually earning, and the token bills are spiraling out of control. And the AI slop is also destroying audience trust. And these companies have made a bet with other people's livelihoods, and it's not working out. So what does that mean next? Well, that's something that companies are going to have to figure out, and they're going to have to figure out fast, because there's a big workforce that's been laid off, and they're not even seeing the reason for why they were laid off in the first place, because AI isn't really generating what it was supposed to in terms of revenue or content. So let's recap what we actually found. It's a story about what happens when an industry moves too fast, and when companies make irreversible decisions based on projections rather than results. So the $400 billion isn't gone forever. Some of it is infrastructure that will pay off in 5 years. Some of it is R&D that will produce breakthroughs that we can't really think of right now. And some of it, honestly, is just hype that the market will eventually correct for. But the problem is the people that lost their jobs because of these companies that made these decisions, they won't get their time back. And so the question worth asking isn't whether or not AI will deliver, but the question is who will pay the price while we wait to find out. And if this video makes you think about that, subscribe and comment below what your thoughts are. I cover more tech and AI stories, so definitely follow if you want to learn more. All right, I'll see you in the next one.